Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. And we begin with a 9-year-old boy getting quite the stall surprise on a routine trip to the restroom. David Miguel of Nova Lima, Brazil, was playing soccer when nature called. He ran off to use his school's facilities, only to come face to face with a long-fanged, growling jaguar. David said he was shaking like jelly, but managed to back out of the bathroom and tell his dad, who figured it was probably just a wild dog. It was not. Wildlife experts arrived, confirmed they were dealing with a big cat with big teeth, and tranquilized it. They aren't sure why the jaguar meandered onto school grounds and into the restroom, but believe loss of habitat was to blame. The cat was released back into the wild, unharmed. NASA has a spacesuit snafu. According to the agency, the helmets worn by astronauts when they venture outside the International Space Station have sprung a leak. The problem surfaced in March when water was found inside a helmet worn by a German astronaut during a spacewalk. It was similar, but a lot less serious than an incident in 2013 when an Italian astronaut told Mission Control that water started to cover his eyes, nose, and ears. He was immediately pulled back into the space station. For now, 4 planned walks are on hold until the suits can be returned to Earth in July, examined, and a cause found. The extravehicular mobility units, or EMUs as they're called, are pretty old. Although they've been updated from time to time, the original design dates back to 1974. It could be a first-of-its-kind diplomatic smackdown of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yesterday, a veteran Russian representative to the United Nations resigned his post, then sent a letter to his colleague saying, "Never have I been so ashamed of my country as on February 24th of this year," referring to the date of Russia's invasion. The now ex-diplomat Boris Bondarev also called the war not only a crime against the Ukrainian people, but also perhaps the most serious crime against the people of Russia, crossing out all hopes and prospects for a prosperous, free society in our country. So far, there's been no response from Russia. There might be, though, to this news. Starbucks announced yesterday that it's putting a lid on the 130 locations it has in that country and will take its brand out of that market completely. It's the second major exit of a global American company from Russia because of its invasion of Ukraine. Just last week, McDonald's began de-arching its entire chain. Keep Tahoe Blue is more than a catchy slogan. A diving crew just wrapped up a year-long plunge into Lake Tahoe, which straddles both California and Nevada, from which they hauled up more than 12 tons of sunken trash. A nonprofit called Clean Up the Lake scoured 72 miles of shoreline down to depths of 25 feet. The divers collected about 24,800 pieces of garbage and treasures, including wedding rings, vintage cameras, wallets, and, ironically, no littering signs. Most is headed to the landfill and recycling plant, but the Tahoe Fund has also commissioned artists to craft some of the found objects into sculptures. Now that Lake Tahoe is squeaky clean, the dive crew hopes to give surrounding lakes some attention too. It wasn't a food fight, but a food flight, and it's no doubt welcome news for thousands of your baby brothers and sisters. On Sunday, 35 tons of formula arrived in the U.S. from Europe to help fill a nationwide shortage. Another shipment is due this week. Together, the 2 cargo deliveries are reportedly enough to fill up to 1.5 million 8-ounce bottles of baby formula for those with a cow's milk protein allergy. Some of the formula is headed to hospitals and doctors' offices. It's not yet clear when it'll make it to store shelves. That's it for KidNuz. Now, today's KidNuz quiz, generously sponsored in honor of Mrs. C's 4th grade class at the Los Alamos Online Learning Academy in Los Alamos, New Mexico. The message: you are an amazing group of students, and it has been wonderful to see you grow this year. And to Mrs. C, thank you for helping our Roadrunners grow into amazing 5th graders. Have a great summer. Now, today's quiz. With what animal did a Brazilian boy have a close call in a bathroom stall? A jaguar. What part of the ISS astronaut's spacesuit has a mysterious leak? The helmet. Which U.S. company is the latest to pull the plug on Russia? Starbucks. What U.S. lake is now 24,800 pieces of garbage cleaner? Lake Tahoe. In today's KidNuz Kicker, a grammar school runner has dazzled spectators at a track meet in Omaha, Nebraska, and people online with her remarkable recovery after a critical wardrobe malfunction. Talia Crawford blew a shoe at the starting line of her 200-meter sprint about a week ago. Instead of throwing in the towel, Talia doubled back for it, slipped it on, resumed the race, overtook the competition, and won. Dad got it on video and posted it to Instagram, writing, "This is the definition of not giving up." The video has over 9.9 million views, and as for the pesky sneaker, Talia's coach promised to tie the laces tighter next time. Before we go, we again want to shout out Mrs. C and her fourth graders at the Los Alamos Online Learning Academy in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and a big KidNuz hello to our other teachers, starting with Mrs. Carrington at Panther Academy in Lake City, South Carolina, Mrs. Jacoby at Whitman Post Elementary in Rockton, Illinois, Ms. Sanchez at Petite Junior High in Petite, Texas, Mrs. Hawkbaum at Lake Street in Crown Point, Indiana, and Ms. Cole at Petsworth in Gloucester, Virginia. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.